Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? Morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's doing well. That Java, man, that Java. Fair, what's up, buddy? How have your work days been to start the week, man? Obviously we got the news today for April 12th, man, and then we will dive into day 17 of Divinity with our buddy Pinky. Depending on when he gets home, we'll start that up. We'll probably do a little bit of Warframe first, so just usually get about, I don't know, an hour average of that in before you hit Divinity for the last 5 to 6 hours of the stream, you know? So that'll be the play. Oh, okay, yeah, dude, all good, brother. All good. Anytime anybody spends here, man, is appreciated, and just getting to see you guys and whenever I can, man, is better than nothing, my friend. So it's good to see you, man. We missed you. Dude, what happened yesterday? Something happened. Oh, dude, there was some soul cleansing talk yesterday. And I was like, where's Ferret at, dude? I was like, this is, I was like, Ferret would have been all over this, man. So, yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool. I hope everything's okay, man. It's just, hopefully, you know, just normal life appointments stuff. But, yeah. Oh, what's this, dude? What's up, Tinwin? Oh. Oh. Nice. Oh, cool, man. Yo, Tinwin, thanks, dude. Yeah, that'll start up the news segment stuff, dude. Thanks, brother. Cool. Yeah. Nice. Appreciate it, Tinwin. Awesome, man. Thank you. Are you saying I need my soul cleanse? No, I don't think so, dude. I've seen no indicators, you know what I mean, telling me that you specifically need your soul cleanse. Negative. No. No, I don't even remember how we got onto that talk, dude. I don't even remember how we got into that talk yesterday. I remember what it was, dude. Well, we were playing Divinity, and there was an undead NPC talking about where the soul was located in the body, and I made a joke about it being located in the taint. And Pinky said something along the lines of, well, it'd be easier to keep your soul clean. And I said, well, that would, you know, something along the lines of, that would be, you know, right there in line with the old thumb soul cleansing, you know what I mean? And I was like, dude, where's Ferret at? I was like, Ferret would have been all over this. You know? Yo, Timwin, that's awesome, dude. Thanks, man. Yeah, right there. So, we got a bit of news on Avowed, man. Thank God. So many of us have been wondering what's going on with Avowed. Thanks, Timwin. Thanks. Well, yeah, dude. I mean, it's been so hush, bro. You know, so anything on the front to let us know that they're still, you know, working on that title and bringing us the world of Aora, right? That so many of us have fallen in love with over the years. That's good news, man. It's been very hush on that front, so we'll read into it, Tinwin. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, that'll be an article we definitely hit on. Thanks, man. Maybe, dude. Maybe. Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. All right, let's see what we got. Let's get into this gaming news stuff, man. Hope you guys are doing well. First and foremost, this is what we're jamming out to this morning. This is bullets per minute. Dude, there you go. Good stuff, rhythm-based FPS, roguelike game, awesome art style, indie devs as well, so highly recommend checking it out, and the music's just full of bangers, dude, so the soundtrack's well worth a pickup as well, in my opinion, but we'll go ahead and kill it right there. Let's get into the news, man. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got, man. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So if you guys haven't seen what Playdate is, you know, I'll show you what this device is. In my opinion, this device is kind of overpriced in comparison to something like the Analog Pocket. But we'll take a look at it and see what they've added to the store for the Playdate. Okay, grab 10 Steam games for only $5. Let's go. Here, let's turn that off. Nice. All right. Ubisoft cuts ties with Siege content creator Thaco after racism accusations. And does Dead Island 2 have crossplay? When was the drop date on this? Isn't it later this month? Like 20 towards the end of this month? April 21st. There we go. It's a little bit before I thought it was, but I was thinking like the 25th. But there we go. Okay. Yo, are you kidding me? Oh, gold edition starting at 80. 12 May, that's the only game date? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm kind of afraid of with it. I mean, this is what I've been telling everybody about Dead Island 2 right now. There are people that are stoked about this game coming out. But look, this game has been in development for roughly a decade. And, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there are usually some things that sketch me out about certain games throughout the development process. This game specifically has gone through, it's changed hands of developers a number of times. I think twice this game has changed hands of developers. It's gone into it started development, it stopped development, it started development, it stopped development, that kind of thing. And so that's a little bit of a concern for me. And yeah, I mean, I think that quite often these kinds of games fall into that trap, Tinwin. Yo, Kayla, what's up? What's going on? I think these kinds of games tend to fall into that trap, Tinwin, pretty easily. Of the, it's a game that if you're looking to play something for just a little bit, you can hop into real easily and just splash some stuff up for a little bit, just maul some zombies, then okay. You might get that out of it, but ultimately they do tend to. They've got like a history of having that kind of thing happen to them, right? Where it's they get like a repetitive kind of thing going. Where that's what I want to see kind of evolve out of these types of titles. Is it not just be what they've become known to be? You know, knees killing you. Oh, that sucks, man. I'm all right, Kayla. I'm all right. Yeah. Pushing on, man. Just pushing on. Doing what we do. Gonna have a good day. We're gonna do the news and play games and enjoy the world that makes us all so happy, man. Video games. I'm all right though. Thanks for asking. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, ultimately, we've seen some things that are kind of cool coming out of this game. Like they've got specific body area damage for this game. Like, so if you're running around using a melee weapon, like a katana, for instance, and you're hitting the same location for impact on an enemy, you'll tear through the different layers of flesh from an enemy, like through the for this game, obviously it would be a zombie, so it's more like rotting flesh, and then through the muscle and or fat layers and stuff like that until you get down to the bone and you end up completely like chopping a limb off and stuff. So there are things like that are going on, and so that's cool, but at the same time, a lot of what I've seen out of it is a lot of stuff that we see out of it a lot. It's like all these other zombie games, it's like, oh, your character's infected, but you're not a zombie, and that's like Dying Light-esque, yeah. So you're infected, but you're not a zombie, but you've got powers because you're infected and you're not a zombie. So you get to use these powers, and for me, that's so I don't know. It's kind of played out for me, that whole concept. But who knows, man? There are an amount of people that are looking forward to this game, and hopefully it'll be good. Look, man, I say this all the time. I hope games always come out in a really good state for everybody interested in playing them. There are some things about zombie games that I think need to be looked at from developers as what they can find to do unique to change them. Because this, honestly, Dead Island 2 looks to have a lot of the same stuff that you can get out of Dying Light. The same kind of weapon stuff, creation systems, and everything. The whole zombie power thing, and because you're infected or whatever. There's like that kind of stuff going on. Play Left 4 Dead. Yeah, I mean, I guess so, I mean, so I'm not trying to dog on it or anything, necessarily, but there are some, again, the big thing for me is the development process behind it. The development process behind this game, of it switching hands a number of times and being delayed a number of times too. We're talking a game that's been in development for, I think, roughly a decade now. Let me confirm that. I don't want to misinform people, but originally started development in 2012. So over a decade. Uh, mm, let's see. Early version of the game was demonstrated in 2014, so we know that they've at least been, this game's at least been worked on for the past 10 years. But then, like, it's switched hands, it's gone into, delays, and those are things that concern me, So I don't know. And I know there are people that are psyched about it, and I hope that they have a good time with it. Again, I never want a game to feel bad, but I've seen nothing coming out of this game that looks any different than any other zombie game I've really ever seen, or anything different coming to this game that I've seen out of any other game that really entices me to go play it, But for the people that are interested in playing it, I hope it's good. I do. It just scares me a little bit. Well, and look, let's be clear. Dead Space wasn't just a zombie game either. It was more sci-fi alien with like some zombie. So it's not a true like zombie experience either. So it's a little bit different than what you would consider something maybe out of like traditional Resident Evil games or something like that too. So I wouldn't necessarily throw Dead Space into a solely like traditional zombie-esque genre either. So I don't know. I haven't played a whole lot of zombie games, to be honest. I started a little bit of Dying Light. People like Dying Light a lot. I started a little bit of Dying Light, which on that note, if you're not aware and you haven't already done this, Dying Light Enhanced Edition and Shapes is free right now on Epic through tomorrow. There's only one day left to grab these titles, so if you haven't done that, you should go ahead on PC and grab these games. And then get ready for the April 13th through 20th free games, which will be Mordhau and Second Extinction Early Access, okay? So these games will be free next, but just funny that we kind of been tying Dying Light into this conversation, and it's free right now on Epic, okay? So don't forget to go grab those games. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess you're right in that aspect too. Yeah. They're just the mutations come off more like traditional zombie than what you get out of something like Dead Space is kind of more what I was playing towards. But yeah, you're not wrong. The storyline and everything that has to do with like Umbrella and what they've done, they created that, right? So Well, yeah. Well, okay. So, but I mean, if you go back to like the early RE games, it was not as monster focused. It was more like you had some dogs, you had crawlers, and you had zombies. Like, and then it kind of evolved outside of that, right? So yeah, you're not wrong. As it moved forward, RE did, yeah. Uh, yeah. So nowadays, yeah, RE is into like flipping all kinds of wild stuff. Um, but yeah, yeah. I was thinking more along the lines of the old traditional RE stuff, but yeah, I don't know. You're not wrong for sure. Anyways, hopefully people enjoy it. Again, I never want a game to be bad. I say this all the time. I mean, unfortunately, the reality of the world we live in is that games get pushed out all the time that feel like crap. Dude, we've talked about it a lot here lately. Whether you want to talk about The Last of Us Part 1 that just got pushed out. That's terrible. And whether you want you chalk it up to performance issues, technical performance issues, or just lackluster gameplay, bad development mechanics, whatever. There are games that come out all the time that just don't feel good, boring gameplay, whatever. And so I never want that to happen, but it's just a reality of the gaming world we live in, right? I just don't. I guess it's been so long, dude. I didn't remember the other big monsters being in RE1. It's been a very long time. I only remembered like the old RE games having like the lickers and the dogs and like the zombies mostly. Again, I said you were right, dude. I said you were right, bro. All right, let's see what else we got. Ooh, Steam game with perfect review score. What? What kind of clickbait is this, dude? Perfect review score now free permanently. We'll see what that is. Mm, Nintendo Live. Dead Space demake? No, I heard about it, but I haven't seen it, dude. Uh-uh. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, Tinwin. Yeah. 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 Yeah, Ferret, for sure. Yeah. 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 Nintendo's bringing its Nintendo Live gaming extravaganza to Seattle in September. Okay, let's take a look at that. All right. What's this? Interesting. That's funny. People do this kind of stuff. The D makes, they do this stuff. I saw another one the other day. What was it for? I can't remember. I think it was like another horror game or something. But yeah, um, I saw another D make. I mean, people do these all the time, and they're pretty good. It's funny seeing these games be taken back to the like an old style. Like, could you imagine, dude, playing this back in the day on like PS1 would have been absolutely terrifying. You remember how like how gnarly this was whenever the graphics were first coming out like this? This was absolutely terrifying. Yeah, they did with Bloodborne. I knew that. Yeah, I thought I saw another one here lately though, and I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I've seen the Bloodborne one. I haven't seen this one yet. I've seen Bloodborns. Interesting. Cool. Thanks, man. A year after Stadia's death. Wait, what? Stadia just shut down, dude, in February or at the end of January. What? I mean, it's honestly been dead for a while, but permanently, officially shut down. Oh, so they're saying like next year. Oh, okay. Let's take a look. I mean, is that going to be a surprise? That like, I mean, PlayStation basically follows Xbox and everything, right? All these like inventive things that like Xbox has done to stay competitive and has really like kind of pushed gaming in like a new direction of business anyways for like cloud gaming and streaming as a streaming platform and stuff like PlayStation's just trying to like copy everything that Xbox does, dude. You know, I mean rightfully so, rightfully so. It's just funny that like I don't think that PlayStation would be doing this right now if Xbox wasn't doing it, you know? I think that's what's funny about it. Well, no, but it's just funny to see the graphic style come out, you know what I mean? Um the graphic style come out for these games that we play nowadays and to compare like the graphical fidelity of like because the stuff's like so much closer to realistic quality, especially with Unreal Engine 5 now, right? Unreal Engine 5 is bringing about some absolutely insane realistic quality graphical fidelity. And then you go back and look at like what people do to demake these games and turn a lot of the modern games into like what an old school graphic style would have been. And that's what it always makes me think of is like had I played these games back then, it would have been absolutely terrifying. But then looking at it nowadays, it's just comedy, you know, looking at it, what it would have looked like back then. It's funny. Yeah. What is this, dude? What do we got here? NVIDIA adds support to new DLSS and ray tracing games. All right, we'll take a peek at this real quick. Steam Deck now supports popular Xbox games. Yeah, dude, I was on the phone with one of my buddies I hadn't talked to in a while. Every time I get on the phone with him, you know, he starts talking to me about gaming and stuff because yeah, that's a big part of what I do, obviously, and I stay pretty current on a lot of stuff. So he really starts picking my brain apart about like, because we were always gamers together and everything, right? But he hasn't been able to focus on gaming the way I have as we've gotten older and so he'll like pick my brain, and that's one of the things we talked about here recently was haptics and the integration. And if you, I mean, there's a lot of crazy technology that's evolving for haptics and integrating human sense, our senses into alternate realities and stuff like that. It's really, really, really wild. From like obviously the initial integration was like putting our sight into everything, right? So you take that out of the picture, then everything else is missing to really immerse yourself in those experiences with touch and smell and taste and things like that. But there are all these like very well known like maybe MIT, and there's some amazing other. I mean, I think one of the latest ones I heard about was a someplace over in Europe, man, and they were doing some stuff with like integrating smells into technology and stuff for that kind of for like haptics and there's some wild stuff coming down the pipeline, and that's where stuff's really going to start expanding as far as immersion, and kind of to a scary extent too, because I mean, it always makes me think of the Matrix a little bit. You know, when you're talking about what was the dude's name that was like, he basically tried to sabotage everything and just wanted to be thrown back in. And he's like just eating steak. You know what I mean? It's like fake steak, but he's like, whatever, you know? He's like, to me, it's not fake. He's like in there tasting it and smelling it and everything, you know? It's like, that's kind of what it's going to get to be. Once all that technology gets to a evolves to a point where it's well developed and out there for use and everything, you know, it's kind of wild. What is this? Dreams? What is dreams? I don't even know what that is. We got a lot of articles this morning. This is insane. Game Pass hits 40 more countries. I think we already kind of hit on this, but I'll read those countries out. That way everybody knows where Game Pass is now rolling out to. Waiting for the rant article. Do we even need an article? I mean, honestly, dude, you guys know there's just like keywords, right? There's just like keywords that you have to like put in chat, and then it's like game over. Well, we'll spend like 30 minutes just having a conversation with me ranting on a sub, and I'm not going to bring any of them up, but you know what you need to do, but don't do it. Disney says more Tron games are coming. Okay. Cool. If you didn't know, like their Tron game that they've been working on and developing is coming out now or very soon. It's a story-rich, choices matter puzzle game kind of theme. And for me, that's a bit underwhelming. Somebody that has thought Tron was a really cool universe for quite a long time. And ultimately, you're talking about the premise of people being sucked into video game world, into the electronics, right? And then, I mean, it has all to do with like a wild universe of you know, these basically electronic gladiator type games, and it's action focused through the traditional movies and stuff like that, and then everything in this game they made is just story rich. I don't know. Maybe, hopefully, I guess what I'm getting at is I hope that what Disney does moving forward is tries to find a way to actually really pull out, because that's cool, man. Story is a good part of video games, right? Like, don't get me wrong. But for a world like this, I feel like they're doing a disservice to the Tron universe by not incorporating, your ability to dive into the action side of that universe too, because there's some cool stuff that goes on in those movies and that lore and everything too. Rando mote time, by the way. Jesus, dude. One of the best Star Wars games ever made gets a sale for $1.84. See what that is. If it, in my opinion, is the best game ever made, it would be Coder, man. Knights of the Old Republic. Mortal Kombat 12 reveal rumored for this week. Ooh. Okay, we've seen, NetherRealm Studios. We've seen bits and pieces of. We knew Mortal Kombat 12 was coming, basically, but there's been nothing official. My kind of take here was like, we knew Street Fighter 6 is hitting in June. We know Tekken 8 is hitting in probably towards the end of this year. And I really think that Mortal Kombat 12 will be following up Tekken 8, not too far after Tekken 8. That's kind of my notion of what, from everything I've been gathering right now, from just staying up to date on news and stuff. All right, let's go to our other search real quick. Let's see what else we got in here. Ten reasons AAA video games keep bombing. I can give you the main one. Fair, here we go, dude. I'll give you the main reason. I mean, it's not hard, dude. It's not hard. Yeah. Let me count the ways. Honestly, like, for me, the number one reason why AAA video games keep bombing is because they are being released unoptimized on whatever platform you want to talk about. They're being released in a very unpolished, unoptimized fashion. Some have been able to still be successful through that. Elden Ring still did very well, even on PC. So did Hogwarts Legacy. Unfortunately, I wish they wouldn't have. Because it sucks to see games feel so terribly bad on platforms and still do well. I don't like that. I don't like people that just, are like, oh, well, whatever, I'll deal with all the issues and just act like they're not there. And that to me is disgusting. That's gross. And it does nothing to help the problem that continues to persist for us as the consumer in regards to what these developers keep doing to us, I'm sure a large part of it, man. I'm sure a large part of it is actually, whatever the case may be, it is what it is. Whatever the underlying issue is for each individual developer in pushing out games, there's no way they don't know. I'm sorry. There's no way they don't know that these games are in a terribly unoptimized state before they release. There's no way they don't know. But they do it anyways. It's awful. It's gross. It shouldn't happen. Whatever the case may be, from whether it be too much pressure from upper management, marketing, the business side of things to get the game pushed out to meet timelines, from development not doing their job right as a collaborative effort across the different parts of development of the game, to Q&A not doing their job, or from other parts of the development team not listening to Q&A, whatever the case may be, something's broken in the process. And what it results in is this, right? So it results in AAA games bombing, and it results in the people that buy those games, us as the consumer, the people that buy those games, feeling cheated and like we had our money stolen from us. All the way around, it's terrible. And right, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I don't. My thing is, it. I state this all the time, man. It's like I don't care if it came out feeling good on one platform. If it felt bad on any platform, that's a fail. If you can't release it at the same quality across every platform that you're releasing it on, you're failing. That's a fail. That's not fair. Not fair at all. So if you don't know what the crap you're doing, if you're releasing the game and you don't know how to optimize the game or whatever for Switch, don't put it out on Switch. Put it out on everything else. If you don't know how to optimize it for PC, but you can put it out on all the consoles, don't put it out on PC. You know? This is, and I know that it'll never happen like that because they'll go, well, that's not going to make us more money, right? But I'll tell you what, man, I'm at the point now where I won't play games, and I won't play games from Avalanche, dude. I won't play games from Software on launch on PC anymore. That's where I'm at with things, dude. I won't play games from CDPR on launch anymore. I won't play games from Bethesda on launch. I don't play Blizzard games. You know what I'm saying? This is where I've gotten with it. And that's just to name a few. And that's not the entire list or anything either. But it's gross, you know? Well, and that was the big thing for me behind like Hogwarts, right? It was like they didn't even need to push it out on PC yet. It was being pushed out later on previous gen consoles anyways. So they could have just waited to push it out on PC. They didn't need to push it out yet. They could have waited and pushed it out on PC the same time they pushed it out on previous gen consoles. But instead, they wanted to rush it and push something out that felt like crap. They got away with it. They got away with it. It's funny. I went and looked recently at the reviews, and the reviews on PC are really, really good. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. It was really disheartening to see that, to be honest. After the release, with so many people having issues with that game, to go look on Steam and see the reviews up at like, I think around 90% positive, was actually heartbreaking, dude. It's so disgusting. Overall, not just recent, but overall, like 90% positive. After the entire debacle of so many people talking trash about how many issues they had and experiencing them myself, you know, and then to see, that's one of those things I talk about a lot too, though, is like Elden Ring survived the PC issues very well. So did Hogwarts Legacy. And a big part of it's because there are just so many people that fan up, you know, like, oh my God, another From Software game. And it's like they can't see any of the issues. They don't want to see any of the issues, right? Because From Software can't do anything wrong. Yeah. Same thing with like Hogwarts Legacy. People have been waiting so long for like a modern Harry Potter game that's the same thing, man. Don't see it or don't care. I don't know how you play a game in that state and don't care though. I don't get it. I don't know, man. I don't know how you sit there and play a game where you're constantly dealing with the game just slapping you in the face all the time with stuttering and frame drop and dude, Like those kinds of performance issues are to me are so there's it's unacceptable. It's not like a bug here and there. It's not like the game came out with a bug here and there. That is constant, terrible, continual performance issues in a game that you're playing. And it's just nonstop. I don't know how anybody plays a game and doesn't see that. I'd say it probably beyond bugs me, you know what I mean? Obviously. But that to me is the biggest reason. I mean, so the other things, obviously, here's one of the other things. For a lot of us in the that are passionate about gaming, you want to talk about a game like let's focus on some stuff like. So what they're talking about here is Gotham Knights and like Forspoken, Callisto Protocol, Gotham Knights, and Forspoken. There's some things that these games have in common that made people really turned off about them, and I'll tell you one that comes glaring bright lights in my face is the writing. People are tired of crap writing in games. People play games for immersion, and these AAA developers, dude, are doing a terrible job at putting good writing. You don't have to have phenomenal writing, but you need good writing. Something decent. And they are failing, dude. The writing that they're putting in these games is atrocious. It is disgusting. And it's cringy. And people are tired of dealing with it. It's hard to immerse yourself in a game when the writing is terrible. And so I'll tell you right now, a lot of what I've heard, I haven't played Forspoken and I haven't played Gotham Knights, but a lot of what I've heard about both of these games is that people absolutely hated the dialogue. Hated it. And that's some of the other stuff you've got to talk about. Outside of performance issues, these are things that AAA developers, I think, are really trying to cut corners on that it's not working anymore. It's just not, it's not happening, man. For a lot of us that dive into these games for the story and stuff, you just can't look past it, man. It's pretty gross. We got a state of play this week? What? When? Tomorrow. Okay, we'll watch it here. It'll be a long stream day tomorrow then. It'll be a long stream day. We'll watch State of Play here tomorrow. It'll happen at 4 o'clock here in the channel, it looks like. So, that would be 5 Eastern, 4 Central, which is our time. 2 o'clock Pacific. So we'll just game up until 4. And then we'll finish off with State of Play, which is only supposed to last 20 to 30 minutes, I think. They're going to be showing off Final Fantasy 16, though. That's their big jam coming out. So Game Pass users can now play a PS5 exclusive early. Dude, we got so many articles. New Monster Hunter game announced. Bro. All right, dude. There. Can we talk about something? Like, dude, I've had this conversation. Like, Wick and I have had a conversation here recently. I'm starting to feel like there are an amount of these types of games that need to just go live service, dude. And I know why they won't, but dude, it is really, really like Doug, it feels like there's just a new Monster Hunter game all the time. I feel like they need to do this with Pokemon too. I feel like Pokemon needs to go live service. Which it never will, because anything, as fast as they can pump out Pokemon games, people buy those things up, dude. But it's I think for a lot of people, it's gotten to the point where it's like, I think it's more daunting to want to dive into a series whenever they put them out as specific, separate iterations, rather than it just being kind of like a long-standing, there's your live service. That's not what I'm talking about, and you know it, dude. Rather than just like a long-standing live service kind of with additional content that you can maybe like buy into or whatever, I don't know. Pokemon Go. Oh, dude, that's a very, that was a groundbreaking game right there, dude. Pokemon Go. Yeah. I mean, I know why they do it. I know why Capcom's doing it, dude. People love Monster Hunter, man. And so yeah, let's stick with these articles. We got a lot right now. Game Pass users can now play PS5 exclusive early. Ghostwire Tokyo. Okay, now available on Xbox Series X and S, and in turn on Game Pass as well. If you guys don't know Ghostwire Tokyo is a game by Tango. Tango, most notably recently for Hi-Fi Rush. So Tango before Hi-Fi Rush was more known for horror games, which is what Ghostwire Tokyo is. It's a horror fantasy kind of game, set in obviously Tokyo, and before that, the Evil Within games, which are fantastic. If you've not played the Evil Within games, do yourself a favor. Those games are amazing, especially if you like horror games. I will still stand by my favorite antagonist ever in a game is Stefano from Evil Within 2. I don't know why. I love that guy, dude. He was so good. But, Tango has done a good job. And so I haven't played Ghostwire Tokyo, but can confirm that the Evil Within games are amazing. And Hi-Fi Rush was fantastic as well. That's my game of the year right now. Easy. Game of the year, Hi-Fi Rush. And honestly, like, honorable mention right now for me would be like Dredge, I think. Dredge was a very cool game. I like to Dredge a lot. And, I love to kind of praise indie devs for coming out with stuff that I didn't see Hi-Fi Rush, and not that Tango's an indie dev, but Black Salt Games, they are an indie dev, and we didn't see that coming until what was the showcase that came out of, man? I can't even remember at this point, but we saw that, and I was like, oh man, that looks really cool, and so I took a dive into it, and I was not disappointed. And apparently that game is doing pretty well, and I'm really happy for Black Salt. It's like a 4-person development team out of New Zealand, I think. We just read an article about them the other day, and that's a very cool game as well. But Ghostwire Tokyo is the one of the games I have not played from Tango, but they make great software, man. Great video games. So maybe if you have Game Pass, it's worth a try. This early release comes alongside the game's new Spider's Threads update, which adds a new roguelite mode, new side missions, new enemies, new skills, new areas to explore, extended story cinematics, and more. The update is not only included with the Xbox version, but now available to PC and PS5 versions of the game. Here's Ghostwire Tokyo's recent trailer for the Spider's Thread update.
I feel a presence. If I leave your body, you're toast. Just be happy you're still alive. Even in death, no escape. You should return to the real world. Hey, looks like a school. Something there? Look, you're famous. Let's do this, KK! Now!
Ooh, Spooter Mom. All right. So on Game Pass now, if you're interested, there's some links in there. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, fair. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure Tango is a primarily Japanese-based development studio, if I remember correctly. Yeah. But I mean, I could be wrong, but I do know that like a lot of times whenever I've seen now Tango isn't Tango part of, they're under Bethesda, and which would be Microsoft, or they I think that's how that works. They got bought out by Bethesda, I think, and then Bethesda got bought out by Microsoft. I think that's how that worked out. So, Tango Gameworks. Yeah. So, Japanese video game developer, founded in 2010, previously of Capcom. Company acquired by ZeniMax Media in October that year after suffering financial issues. Let's see. So the way this entirely went down. Let's see. So ZeniMax acquired Tango in 2010. Bethesda, ZeniMax, right? Let's see. And then ZeniMax was acquired by Microsoft, obviously, like we know, back in March of 2021. So that's how Tango ultimately became under Microsoft, right? So, but yeah, they've been under Bethesda for a while, but it's like, you know, they've continued to kind of be their own thing and do their own thing, which is good. They've been doing good stuff, and I think that's what's important. I think here is, you know, you unfortunately you see things happen like, you know, recently we saw Luminous just got absorbed by their parent company of Square after the Forspoken. About a month after Forspoken, and it was not doing well. Square was basically like, "All right, well, your studio's done. We're absorbing you." And on the flip side of that, what you'll have is like this kind of situation, which tends to be a nice story. Like, Tango got bought up by ZeniMax, Bethesda, and then Bethesda got bought up by Microsoft, but they've continued to do good stuff, and it seems like they're doing things of their own kind of internal development. They're not having a lot of like, the parent company. It doesn't feel like, anyways. Parent companies aren't like really messing with them too much. Like, they're just continuing to work on their stuff, and they've done very good. Like I said, it was before Evil Within came out that they got bought by ZeniMax, and then it was before Ghostwire they got bought. ZeniMax got bought by Microsoft, and they've continued to do well. So I don't know, but yeah, they are a Japanese based. They're headquartered in Tokyo. Mm-hmm. But if you haven't tried any of their games out, I highly recommend. Whether you want to go for the horror side of things and maybe try Evil Within or Ghostwire like they have on Game Pass. I'm pretty sure Game Pass still has Hi-Fi Rush too, though. Hi-Fi Rush, again, my game of the year right now. Rhythm-based, hack and slash kind of game. A lot of fun, dude. A lot of fun. Steam Deck now supports popular Xbox games. The Steam Deck now supports some of the most popular Xbox games ever made. In the modern era, Xbox brings every one of its games to PC, but this didn't always used to be the case. Not every Xbox game on PC supports the Steam Deck. That said, multiple Xbox games just went from unsupported on Steam Deck to playable. Difference between playable and verified. Obviously, verified games on the Steam Deck are optimized. Playable means that they can be played on the Steam Deck, but they're not necessarily optimized. So there might be a little bit of wonkiness in them, okay? You can now play Halo the Master Chief Collection, which means Halo 1, 2, 3, ODST, and Reach are now on Steam Deck. They are playable, though. They are not verified, which means you can play them on that device, but there might be some weird wonkiness to them as they're not optimized yet. They probably will be pretty soon, okay? But that's what you need to know out of that. Dreams live support is ending, and that's a big misstep for PlayStation. Sony could have had its own popular proprietary game engine and metaverse. Instead, it just let it slip through its fingers. Media Molecule is ending live support for Dreams, its highly ambitious game creating and playing tool for PS4 on September 1st. Its servers are staying online for now. Has a few more content updates in the pipeline before then, but after August, there will be no new tools, ports, or events for Dreams. That means it's not coming to PS5, PlayStation VR 2, and most critically, PC. Despite Media Molecule making a very ambitious product over the course, I don't know much about this really at all. Over the course of a decade, a lack of compelling promotion pre- and post-launch hurt Dreams from the start. It was first teased at the PS4's reveal event, but didn't feel like it launched too much fanfare when it came out 7 years later in 2020. I imagine a lot of players checked out Media Molecule's creations, played a few user-made ones, and then never gave the game a second thought. Which was a shame, as some of the ideas at the core of Dreams became quite trendy in the years after its release. While AI is getting more attention now, the metaverse was gaming's big golden goose for a few years. It was a trend word. Most of these development companies were not actually telling anybody what their version of the metaverse actually was that separated it from anything that they were already developing and giving us giving us as the consumer, apart from what they had already been giving us in their gaming universe. Which was what was really stupid to me about it. It was like a trend word, is all it really was. That's what it came down to. Every single publicity statement that would come out from developers about what they were bringing to the table, for next for the gaming world and everything, was all metaverse centered, and it was like, okay, but it was all in generalities. Nothing was like definitive in what their version of the metaverse was. They weren't defining that out for us as something that was specific in being a unique, new incorporation of something that we weren't already getting from, which was really, really dumb to me. It was just a real trendy word everybody was using, and I honestly, I think it's almost like this whole like woke situation. Like, oh, everybody wants to use the term woke, but like nobody can explain what it actually means. You know what I mean? Like, the cake is a lie. Yeah, exactly, Ferret. It's like everybody's like, the woke culture or whatever. It's like, well, so what does woke mean? And then these people sit there and lose their crap because they can't explain it. It's like, dude, come on, man. Like, have you seen that happen? It's like, it was like that kind of thing, it's so dumb. Like, I don't know. So ultimately for me, when people kept touting or businesses and developers kept touting metaverse, to me, it was just the same thing they had already been giving us. Obviously, they're trying to progress and make their worlds more expansive and bigger and everything, but it wasn't anything different because I wasn't hearing anything different. Okay, here we go. The term metaverse can be a pretty buzzword and is often associated with more nefarious business practices, but I can't deny that a user-generated content backbone is part of what makes titles like Fortnite successful. Dreams provided an expansive suite of tools, might have been a bit better than some of its metaverse competitors boasting about their technology. Even Media Molecule referred to its broader ecosystem as the Dreamiverse. Oh my god, dude. So there was at least some self-awareness from the developers there. Jesus. Do you even know what this is? Yo, one second. I don't really know anything about it. This is weird. Even at release 2020, it felt like Dreams wouldn't come into its own until it came to PC with mouse and keyboard support. It's a platform much more preferable for making games than a PS4 and PSVR with DualShock 4 and PlayStation Move controls. Huh. Despite Media Molecule's best efforts, it feels like Dreams never got the support it needed from Sony to truly thrive. As a result, its passionate community will be left in the dust as Media Molecule moves on to making new things. Sony invests lots of money in creating new live services instead of capitalizing on what it already had. Dreams feels like one of Sony's biggest gaming fumbles of the past decade. not because it's a bad game, but because it was never able to achieve its full vision. This is not. This is one of those scenarios though where maybe it was just a bit too early for it in regards to it hitting this platform specifically or whatever. Like maybe if Dreams had hit on a couple years later, it would have been like the perfect timing for it or something. But because it didn't, it just didn't work out. That kind of stuff happens it's like sometimes you just need the perfect storm, which is the right, the right platform and the right timing and it just kind of meshes really well. And sometimes it just doesn't work, and maybe that was part of it. Who knows? I'm not real familiar with Dreams, though. I might have to look into this and see exactly what it was. I'll get a little bit more familiar with it. PC Game Pass comes to 40 more countries. Here we go. I'm just going to read these out for you guys. Hey, Phil. What up, Phil? I like Phil Spencer, dude. Here you go. So... full list of all the new countries where PC Game Pass is now available is below. Algeria, Bahrain, Bolivia, Bosnia, and Herzegovina. Dude, I might have butchered that. I'm sorry. Bulgaria, Costa Rica, Croatia, Cyprus, Ecuador, Egypt, El Salvador, Estonia, Georgia, Guatemala, Honduras, Iceland, Kuwait, Latvia, Libya, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Moldova, Montenegro, Morocco, Nicaragua, North Macedonia, Oman, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Qatar, Romania, Serbia, Slovenia, Tunisia, Ukraine, and Uruguay. There you go. 40 new countries. Yeah? Dude, that's not 40. I didn't read 40 right there, did I? But that's what they list right here. I'll link this for any new I'll link this in case. Bro, Ferret. Dude, I haven't thought about that show in a long time. Yeah, that was a good cartoon, man. It was a good cartoon. That's cool, man. More people getting access to Game Pass, I think, is a good thing. Game Pass is a pretty solid deal. It's a good streaming service. Getting more people access to games and stuff, dude, is great. One of the best Star Wars games ever made gets marked down to $1.84. A major new Star Wars game is set to launch later this month when EA and Respawn Entertainment will let loose Star Wars Jedi Survivor. If you're having a hard time waiting and you need something to tide you over, I called it, dude. Available via Game Billet, the beloved RPG Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, or what people will often refer to it as Coder, K-O-T-R, yeah, or K-O-T-O-R. Yeah, dude, K-O-T-R, yeah, man. So this game is amazing. I haven't played it in a very, very, very long time. But dude, if you have never, so this is quite often referred to as like the GOAT of Star Wars games. This game is so dope. You can basically, it's RPG. You can decide whether you want to be like kind of neutral for the Force, or dark side, or Jedi, and you know it's very cool, man. It's a really neat game. Highly recommend. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, Ferret for sure. So as for how long this sale will be lasting, it's only set to be live until the end of the day on Thursday, April 14th. So you got 2 days left right now. If you want to take advantage of this discount, you'll have to act pretty fast. It's the iteration that is seen on PC through Steam. Although Coder, you'll see it referred to as KOTOR or just KOTR, either one. But just know that that's always Knights of the Old Republic. Also purchasable for Switch. That edition of the RPG isn't the one that is being offered up. If you happen to make this purchase for Knights of the Old Republic, Game Billet will send you a code for the game that is then redeemable on Steam itself. This game is so good. It's old at this point. So here's what sucks. This game is actually being dude, you gotta stop. You're getting me ranting, dude. Oh god. So and I can't even keep track when you start doing this to me. This game is so good. I highly recommend. It's old. They're supposed to be remaking this game right now, but it got basically put on like a permanent delay right now. It's like on indefinite delay. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I know. You know what you're doing, dude. You know what you're doing. I'm trying to hold off. Resist the temptation of rant. So basically, dude, who was doing the here? I'll link this for you guys. Dude, I cannot recommend this game enough, even as old as it is. When did Coder come out? 2003, dude. 20 years old. 20 years old. Yeah. So maybe we'll talk about the current one that's in development. Remake right here. Aspire. Okay. So here's the deal. If you didn't know this, so basically what happened here is that from what we read in regards to this project, and here's what what you need to know up front. We've seen a lot, like remakes are a big deal nowadays, right? Not to be confused with a remaster. This is a complete overhaul of this game. And you have to be very, very careful with a game of this stature. A game of this notoriety over time. Again, we're talking about the most people's idea of what Star Wars games GOAT is. Greatest of all time Star Wars game. Not everybody, because that's obviously going to be something that's a bit, is subjective, but most people for Star Wars games, this is their number one. And when you try to remake something like this, you got to be very careful of kind of staying true to the original content while modernizing it at the same time. And that's a difficult thing for developers to do. We've seen it done very well. We've seen it done very poorly, right? And you do it well, it can be very, very good. If for us as the audience or the people that are going to be engaging in that piece of entertainment, or if it's done very poorly, it can be very bad for the developer themselves and bad for us, right? And we're just going to be blasting the crap out of them for it. So basically what happened was we knew this was being developed, and then Ferret's Head. Yeah, I didn't see that, dude. Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Appropriate emote for right now too. Yeah. So I always played dark side in Coder, dude. I liked being the dark side. It was nice. So the latest I had heard about what was going on here with Aspire was that they had taken basically everything they had up to a point of development with this game, and they were showing it off to the heads of the like, I don't know if it was Sony or what, for yeah, I think it was, they were showing it off to Sony or whatever. And dude, after they showed it off, it was like a bunch of people got fired. Oh, right on, Ferret. Yeah, a bunch of people got fired, and then the remake got put on basically an indefinite delay, something like that. Oh yeah, here you go. In July 2022, Bloomberg reported the remake has been delayed indefinitely after Aspire abruptly fired the game's art director and design director. Bloomberg stated this occurred after the vertical slice demo was shown to production partners Sony and Lucasfilm. Yeah. Spire studio heads put the project on hold as the gameplay demo wasn't where they wanted it to be, according to two people who were in the meeting. So apparently what they had finished at that point for showcasing to the parent company and everything was like not liked, I think is a very nice way to put it, to the point of them firing people. You know what I mean? And we read this whenever it first came out, and it was like, oh, wow. So we're probably not going to see anything from the Coda remake for a while, but I highly recommend playing the original. The original is very good. Obviously, you know, the graphic fidelity is not really going to be there on it and stuff. It's 20 years old now, but it's a great game, and you can't beat $2, man. So go grab it. Mortal Kombat 12 reveal rumored for this week. A new rumor has suggested that WB Games and developer NetherRealm Studios could finally reveal Mortal Kombat 12 this week. Based on a new tweet from Mortal Kombat 11 professional player Sonic Fox, the impending reveal of MK12 could be happening this week. Sonic Fox didn't go on to add any other specifics to their own speculation, but the fact that they put out this tweet in the first place immediately led some fans to think that they could have knowledge of what's happening behind the scenes at NetherRealm. Okay. We'll keep touch, dude. Ed Boon is the head of NetherRealm, right? Ed Boon is always... So anytime something like that comes up, anytime something like this comes up, Ed Boon's really good. Ed Boon, he'll like put out these like cryptic, funny kind of tweets and stuff, and it would not be a surprise for me after this to see Ed Boon come out with something like in tomorrow's news segment to kind of like tease us even a little bit more about maybe something coming out for Mortal Kombat 12. So this is a grain of salt here, obviously, because this isn't anything official, but we'll see what happens. We'll see if Ed Boon taps in here too. Hold on. All right. Cool. PlayStation State of Play returns this week with a Final Fantasy 16 showcase. Looks like this is going to happen tomorrow. Event will feature over 20 minutes of new gameplay for Final Fantasy 16. Yeah, viewable on Twitch and YouTube. It will take place tomorrow. Tomorrow at what? Bro, this can't... Wait, what? Bro, 5 p.m. Eastern time would be 4 p.m. here, would be 2 p.m. Pacific. I'm guessing they put a 1 in front of this on accident. I'm going to go with the fact this is supposed to be 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, probably a typo. They probably accidentally just fat fingered a 1 in front of that. But Jesus, can you proofread your articles before you publish them? What is this crap, dude? Showcase will include over 20 minutes of new gameplay footage from the upcoming title, which recently went gold. It means it's ready to go, baby. There would have to be something catastrophic happen for this not to release on time now. So June 22nd is a go for Final Fantasy 16. Okay, funny enough, Producer Naoki Yoshida recently said he'd like to see a PC version of the game released eventually, probably like 6 years down the line. First of all, it is true. Okay, so look, yeah, I guess, dude. It sucks because then it's like, what time is this actually kicking off? I think it is 2. So it'll be 4 for us, but So Naoki Yoshida here recently was asked about a PC version of the game coming out on release. And he basically was quoted as saying, "Don't worry about that. Just go buy a PS5." Something to that effect. It was right along those lines. I would need to pull up the exact quote, but it was something very similar to that, which really pissed me off. And it's like, I get it, dude. This is nothing new for the gaming world. Right. Yeah, exactly, Ferret. Yeah. This is nothing new for the gaming world. I mean, proprietary games for systems and stuff, and Square Enix has been, rubbing elbows with Sony forever. So a lot of their Final Fantasy stuff or, a lot of their titles end up becoming PlayStation only games for at least a good amount of time. But, to hear somebody say that is really kind of mauding, especially because whenever the quote came out, it still wasn't really easy to get your hands on a PS5 either. And not that even everybody has the money to just go throw down on a PS5, So for me, I remember at the time hearing him say that or seeing the quote behind that. And I was like, oh, well, if it's just that easy, dude, you just go ahead and buy everybody. If you want people to experience your software, you know what I mean, that much, and it's that easy, then just go. Everybody that wants one should just be able to say, hey, well, just buy me a PS5 then, dude. What it was just, it came off very bad. It came off like a very bad quote to me. I was not a fan of it. So quote, first of all, it is true that Final Fantasy 16 is a 6-month limited time exclusive on PS5. He told the Japanese PlayStation blog translated by Google. However, it is a completely different story that the PC version will be released in half a year. I will make it clear, but the PC version will not come out in half a year. Look, I mean, I'm going to be straight up with you guys anyways. Square Enix games being ported over to PC are trash. They do a terrible job. Their games being ported over to PC are atrocious most of the time. They do not do a good job. And they don't care either. They really don't care. You can go look at yeah. Well, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is still not fixed, if you didn't know that. And that game released in, what was it? I think it was December 16th or 19th or something like that of 2021. They still haven't fixed that game. It got fixed by mods, like just community, mods from the gaming community. But Square Enix themselves still haven't fixed that game for PC. So, it's kind of gross, man. That they're like, well, whatever. It's, oh yeah, Ferret. Nice, dude. Nice. So I don't know. Even if people are looking forward to playing this game, and look, I mean, Final Fantasy, Square Enix is getting to the point for me that like same kind of ballpark Blizzard is. I grew up just being such a huge fan of Square, and Final Fantasy, along with Blizzard games, are up in the my top games of all time. Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game of all time. And then you take like Final Fantasy 6 or 3 in the US. That's right up there for me. Final Fantasy 10 as well. I love Final Fantasy 10. But Square's getting really gross to me, man. Um, yeah, yeah, yep, yeah. I think so too, Ferret. Yeah. Um, so I don't know, and I mean, it's just not looking any better on that front either because they're all in on like blockchain NFT. They're very public about it. Dude, I'm sorry, but everything I've seen about any gaming company getting into NFT Web3 blockchain space is just about greed. It's not about doing anything that is mutually beneficial, along with trying to make money, obviously, but doing anything that's beneficial also for the consumer and the gamer. It's not about like a quality rollout for doing something that's going to be good for us as well. It's just greed. And that's where I see a lot of these developers slip, man. It's where I start to see, it's like that's that big downfall, man, where it's just the greed goggles. And that's where I see Square just rocking those all the time. Same thing with Blizzard, man. I see Blizzard just having those. I know. So it's unfortunate, but this is the case I see with Square, and I've seen it for quite a while now. I will make it clear the PC version will not come out in half a year. This is because we spent a lot of time and money optimizing the PS5 platform to deliver the best gaming experience. Of course, I would like to release a PC version at some point so that everyone can play as many games as possible. However, even if we start optimizing the PC version after the PS5 version comes out, we won't be able to optimize it in half a year, so it won't come out in a short span of half a year. I would like to release it eventually, and I think I will, but I am not at the stage where I can say when. I'm going to go ahead and just I think that even I would love to save this quote right here. And like this entire thing where he's like optimizing for PC. Don't know how long it'll take. We'll get it out for PC, but it's going to take some time for us to get it optimized. I think it's still going to play like crap. It'll still have issues. I still think it'll have issues when it comes out on PC. It won't be fully optimized. It never is from Square. I'm sorry. It's just not. They suck at it. And so for them to try to like put out this statement about we need time to get it optimized for PC and I don't really buy into that, man. It'll still feel like crap, I think. I almost think like they do it on purpose almost to try and get people to just keep buying into PlayStation to get a better experience of their gameplay because they're so buddy with PlayStation, I almost think it feel like it's a play on purpose, which sucks. NVIDIA's RTX technology has revolutionized. Set a reminder for a year later. Dude, I don't think it'll be a year even. I think it'll probably be 2 to 3 years before they even push that out. I could be wrong, but the way he talks is like he doesn't care to have it on PC, really. That's the way he talks. That's what makes me feel like that, you know? And that's the way he's talked about it being on PC for anytime he's approached about it. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. NVIDIA's RTX technology. That's the thing that's always been crazy to me too about like Sony, and I get it. A lot of PC stuff's Microsoft, so they don't want to play into that. But dude, I think they're missing a huge market. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, I've said this for a long time, and I think what really made Sony finally kind of break and go, okay, we're going to start our PC gaming division, right? Which is like, okay, we're going to release our titles on PC a little bit faster, and we're going to make peripherals that'll work on PC too. So I guess glass half full. It's better than nothing, but I think it was really the whole with the pandemic creating an issue with supply not being able to meet demand with their new console, and they were losing out money, I think, on not having their PlayStation, not having a lot of their titles on any other platform. I think they saw that they were missing opportunity, they were missing profit, and so they decided to go ahead and take a little bit more of a stance at trying to get things on PC. I've said it for a long time. I think they're missing out on a large segment of revenue by a big portion of their games not hitting at least PC. You know, I understand. You know, the whole console only proprietary kind of stuff, but man, I think you have to take a hard look at how many PC gamers are out there and how prominent that's becoming, and has been for a long time, and is even continuing to be, and where you're kind of missing out nowadays in a lot of your software sales. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. And again, I've said that too. It's a lot easier for Xbox also because Xbox is owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft creates and owns Windows, right? And so that's a very intuitive thing for Microsoft. It's very easy for them. And I think that's why it's been I think that's why there's been a good bit of hesitance on Sony and PlayStation's part in the past, because they're like, well, Windows is a Microsoft product and Xbox is a Microsoft product, and we hate Microsoft, right? And so that's why they don't want to do that. But I think they've actually been hurting themselves by doing it, in my opinion. I think they're missing out on a large revenue stream, man. So, but I mean, I'm not in there. I don't have all their numbers and stuff like that either. But I mean, you've seen that they're starting to pivot. So I might not be entirely wrong on that front. NVIDIA adds support to new DLSS and ray tracing games. So NVIDIA's RTX technology has revolutionized the gaming industry, enabling developers to create more immersive games with realistic lighting and reflections through real-time ray tracing. Most of us know what ray tracing is. The latest third-gen GeForce RTX 4000 series graphics cards feature advanced technologies such as DLSS 3, which multiplies performance with AI-accelerated frame generation in 30 games, and DLSS 2, which accelerates frame rates in over 280 games with superior image quality. This week celebrated the launch of the technology preview of Cyberpunk 2077's ray tracing, overdrive mode. High on Life and Like a Dragon Ishin have added DLSS 2 support also. Many other games with support for RTX technologies are also on the horizon. Of the millions of GeForce RTX desktop GPU owners, 83% of the 4000 series gamers enabled ray tracing, and 79% accelerated performance with DLSS and RTX capable games. So, I mean, honestly, usually, if you're having an issue in a game of stuttering or frame drop or anything like that, you turn DLSS off and it goes away. You know, just saying. It can be good for like obviously it's all about like realistic lighting within games and stuff like that, but if it's affecting the performance of a game as well, then you know what good is it to have it turned on? So and that's not necessarily Nvidia's fault, you know, it's just it's a balance between the game being optimized correctly for utilizing hardware efficiently, and but it's, you know, incorporating these high level graphic options, you know, it's very hardware intensive too. So if you're not running high, you know, latest kind of hardware kind of stuff, you know, you're going to be really pushing your hardware to a level that, depending on what settings you're trying to run, outside of that for like native, like for what kind of resolution and frame rates and stuff, it all kind of takes a balance to get things working pretty fluidly while incorporating DLSS. Or I mean, sorry. So using DLSS helps to get all that kind of running with the ray tracing stuff. I apologize. I was kind of off in my statement there, but the ray tracing is what I was talking about. Like ray tracing for all the lighting and everything, and DLSS helps to kind of offset some of the So DLSS normally you'll have like options for like performance versus like the different performance modes, whether you want like better quality or better performance. And if you usually ray tracing is very hardware intensive. That's what I was getting at. I apologize. I had my words wrong. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was getting at. Fair. Ray tracing is a very hardware intensive one too. Ray tracing is all the realistic lighting and light reflections and stuff like that in the game. And DLSS is something that's been actually very nice for NVIDIA incorporations for NVIDIA graphics cards and stuff, and it can help, rendering resolutions and downscale resolutions and stuff to help offset what you might need to do to get some of the things like what Farrah just put in chat in regards to like blooming and motion blur and reflections and some of the more intense kind of things that tend to really put a load on your hardware. But a lot of it just comes in. I'll tell you this. Ray tracing is very, very hardware intensive. And that's what I was trying to get at. Not DLSS. I was just using the wrong words. I'm sorry. I need more coffee, man. But usually if you're having some issues in a game of trying to get things running at a pretty solid place for what you want, if you turn off some of those options like the shadow, reflections and blooming and really ray tracing is a big one. It can be cool, but if you turn off ray tracing, that can be a huge help. But DLSS is pretty nice too for being able to downscale resolution and help with that kind of stuff too. Oh yeah, for sure, Ferret. Yeah, no doubt. Yep. Yeah, you're right. Everspace 2 has hit early access. We just talked about Like a Dragon, High on Life, yeah, DLSS 2. Leap. What? Oh, wait. Have we looked at Leap? Yeah, we have. Yeah. Yeah, this game has not been getting reviewed very well. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, careful with that one. If you need more out of this, though, sorry, I was just using the wrong terms there and everything. I apologize. But hopefully I corrected it and you got the gist of what I was talking about there. A year after Stadia's death, PlayStation appears poised for cloud gaming push. It's beginning to look like this PS5 remote play handheld is going to be a thing, whether we, the PlayStation faithful, like it or not. Further, Sony appears poised to once more dive headlong into the cloud gaming breach now that Stadia is cold in the ground. With ex-Sony director Phil Harrison reportedly locking the doors on his way out. As reported by The Verge, Sony is currently hiring for as many as 22 roles related to cloud gaming tech, with one job in particular who will focus on being on developing and delivering the strategic vision for cloud gaming streaming at PlayStation. Okay. I mean, I'm not surprised. It's just so funny how long it's taking PlayStation to really follow in the footsteps of what Xbox has done so well, It's weird. And I mean, here's something to consider is the cloud gaming space. There are a lot of players that have jumped into this already. PlayStation's a bit behind here. If they really wanted to get a foothold in this, now obviously it's Sony. Sony's got a big name. They've got a lot of overhead to dump into this. Excuse me. They've already got a huge gaming platform, so it's going to be easier for them to kind of dive in and make a name for themselves in the cloud gaming space. But NVIDIA's been doing it for a while. Xbox has been doing it for a while. A lot of other companies have too, but those are the big names right there that are going to be hard to overtake. So we'll see how it goes for them. But they're jumping in there late, that's for sure. Steam game with perfect review score now, free permanently. A Steam with a perfect Steam user score review score is now free to download and free permanently. Yeah, it does seem more and more like free games are being given away on Steam. Right now, it's Grow Big or Go Home Ultimate Edition, a smaller release from 2020. The game has a perfect review score. 100% of users that have reviewed the game have reviewed it positively. 12 whole user reviews, guys. Easy. Let's see what this is.
Grow. Grow.
There we go.
Grow.
That's a banger, dude.
Grow. Grow. Grow.
Why is the game being made free to play? The developer Quarant Inc. Simply thinks they've sold every copy they're going to sell, considering it's been out since December 2020. Smaller release to begin with, probably right. All right, check it. Let's pull this up real quick. Grow Big or Go Home. Free games, guys. Free games. Check it. Boom, right there. I'll link it for you guys. All you have to do is go add to library, and it's yours forever. 100% of 14 reviews at this point. Oh, man. Link copied. There we go. Here you go. Free games. Easy. All right, Nintendo's bringing its live gaming extravaganza to Seattle in September. When's this popping off? Billed as an all-ages celebration of Nintendo fun, will feature live stage performances, gaming tournaments, open stations for playing video games on the Switch, photo opportunities with some of your favorite Nintendo characters, like Chris Pratt. No venue announced yet. Okay, so it's just saying September and no venue. We'll keep track, man. If you want more out of that article, there's not many other details outside of that. But September in Seattle, Washington for Nintendo Live 2023. As we get closer to that, I'm sure we'll get more details about what the venue is and the specific dates and everything, and we'll try to get more info out to people who want to attend, okay? Playdate's first store update adds 4 games and a calculator. Crankable handheld can now crunch numbers. Oh, okay, look. not that it isn't a neat little device and everything, but this thing is like, I think close to $200, man. Let me see real quick. Pull this up. Where is their site at? Hold on. Yeah. Yeah. Here you go. Check it. So, a new tiny handheld game system with a bunch of brand new games made Playdate just for fun. This thing's $200, dude. $200. And you can like wind it up to charge the battery to like crank it and it charges. That's pretty cool, you know. But it does not have a backlit screen, I don't think, and it's black and white. Yeah, it has a very special black and white screen, not backlit, but super reflective. So my issue here is like, while this seems like kind of a cool little device and everything, for $200, dude, I can't see myself spending that much money on this. They do have like a catalog of games up now that they didn't used to have. That's what the article's about right here. They've got some new games and stuff, which is cool because you can just download them onto this, from what I understand. But when you compare this device to something like the Analog Pocket is an incredible little like retro gaming device. It looks like a Game Boy. Yeah, Ferret, cool man. I hope work goes well, dude. And I mean, obviously you need the retro cartridges to play on it, and I'm just giving a comparison here. The Pocket Analog Pocket is here, I'll just pull it up. This is the Analog Pocket, and obviously bumper buttons, USB-C charged. This is again a retro gaming console. It's a modern retro gaming console that plays basically all Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance cartridges out of the box, and then you can buy adapters that will let you play like Game Gear games, Neo Geo Pocket Color games, Atari Lynx games, and more from old handheld systems. And you can see it's got a backlit screen. It's even got a dock that it's a MIDI and synthesizer for making music and stuff. I'm sure it's not like too elaborate, but you can probably get some cool stuff done with it. You can see the differences between some of the different display modes and things that go on with it. Bumper buttons in the back. It's got a dock like the Switch does, so you can hook it up. And this is for like $20 more than what that little Playdate thing is, you know? And it's weird for me. And obviously this is going to be a bit different because this is for old retro console or old retro cartridges and stuff for handhelds, as opposed to being able to just digitally store games on it and things. But for a price point of difference of $20, I'm sorry, this is going to be my go-to. Not that the Playdate's not cool, but man, It just seems kind of, especially not even having like a backlit screen. There's not even a backlit screen in this thing for $200. That's kind of crazy to me. But I mean, if you're interested, then here you go. Grab 10 Steam games for only $5. Fanatical's got to build your own Easter bundle. So you can get a selection of games that you can choose from at a very low price. Grab a single game for $1, or you can increase the value of the deal by selecting 5 games for $3 or 10 games for $5. Variety of great indie titles for PC via Steam. So that's what Fanatical usually it's just going to be Steam keys, okay? Build your own Easter bundle can consist of Beholger, Osteoblast, Startup Panic, Professor Lupo and his horrible pets, Twilight Town, A Cyberpunk Day in Life, Mindustry, Beautiful Desolation, Discolored, Ultimate Zombie Defense, Clocky, Instant Farmer, Garage Games Triple Pack, Tacoma, Hook, The Divine Invasion, and Goosebumps the Game. All right. If you need this, I'll link it. Ubisoft cuts ties with Siege content creator Thackle after racism accusations. The streamer's in-game charm will be removed from Rainbow Six Siege. Ubisoft has cut ties with Rainbow Six Siege content creator Thackle and will be removing his in-game charm cosmetic following accusations of racism. In a series of now-deleted TikToks viewed by NME, Thackle targeted Castle, a black character in Rainbow Six Siege, with a number of racist comments. In one video, Thackle listed Castle as a Siege operator whose name began with N. In a second, the content creator said he would avoid Castle in a Kiss, Marry, Avoid game and claimed, "I think it's quite obvious it's because he's black." Jesus. Another video showed the streamer posing with a banana under Castle Siege's icon. Well, these videos have been taken offline. Other TikToks, including one that appears to make jokes about implied sexual assault, remain online at time of writing. After reaching out to see if Ubisoft was aware of Thackle's content on TikTok, an Ubisoft spokesperson shared the following statement with Enemy. Ubisoft does not tolerate any form of racism, bullying, or harassment. We believe in providing positive and engaging entertainment experiences where everyone feels welcome, included, and celebrated. Following an investigation, it has become clear that content creator Thackle's recent posts on social media are in breach of Ubisoft's code of conduct. Spokesperson continued, as a result, Thackle will no longer be part of our content creators program, and his charm will be removed from Rainbow Six Siege. Good. Get wrecked. We've got to progress, dude. In our world, we've got to get better, dude. There's so much hate, man, just for asinine reasons. You know? So much hate in the world for asinine reasons. It just doesn't make any sense. Just because somebody, has different kind of belief than you, or because somebody's skin color is different than yours, their sexual preference or orientation is different than yours, when all you should really care about is if other people are at their core good people. It's so disgusting. And good for Ubi for breaking ties with this individual, and all I can hope is that people that have this mindset deserve to get wrecked. But my hope is that somehow they have their eyes open to what I'm talking about here. About, not viewing the world in that way. It's so bad. It's so disgusting. And well, hey, you can you don't have to believe that raw corn is safe and edible if you don't want, but it is proven to be absolutely and delicious. Also, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? What's up? So I don't know, man. I mean, the big hope for me here is that people that have these kinds of outlooks in our world have the ability to change, right? The ability to change and become better, because that's what we need. We need the ability to help individuals that have these mindsets turn around and understand that this is not the way, you know. Okay, dude, let me know. What's up, buddy? Does Dead Island 2 have crossplay? Crossplay or cross progression. Dead Island 2 will not support crossplay, and there's no mention of it being a feature the devs are looking to introduce at any point. Given that Dead Island 2 supports multi-person co-op, this news will likely be a sore point for players on different platforms looking to team up with one another. Till we hear anything different, if you're looking to beat on the Undead Scourge of LA with a partner or two, it will have to be on the same platform. Dambuster has also made no mention of it supporting cross progression. So while it's not completely set in stone, it's also unlikely you'll be able to transfer your progress to another console or PC. There you go. If you need anything more out of that. No Warframe. All right, cool. That's fine. No big deal. I will take a break real quick, though, man, and grab something to eat and drink before we dive into the divinities. But that's cool, man. I'm glad you're home already. How was work, man? So, you know, that kind of sucks, man. They're like trying to get people. Look, here's the thing, dude. This is in today's world of gaming. And if you're going to be releasing a game on numerous different platforms and you're trying to promote a co-op experience, an online co-op experience, and you're not incorporating crossplay, that's a failure in my book, man. I don't know how. I mean, you're seeing platforms actually require it nowadays. Epic has started the same kind of thing that Steam's been doing for such a long time for developers, right? So developers can now start publishing their games on Epic's platform, you know, as like indie devs and stuff like that, right? Bing AI is broken. Writing nonsense. I don't believe you. I want to see. I think it's telling the truth, but it's like, you know, one of Epic's big requirements was that, like, if you're going to be publishing things on our platform, cross-play is, you know, that's a requirement, right? And this is where things have gotten to, and in my opinion, that's the way it should be. There are so many gamers nowadays that we play on numerous different platforms, and we shouldn't have to go and, you know, buy the exact same platform to play with one another if that game is on the same platform. That cross-play should be something we're able to do. So developers that aren't incorporating this, that are trying to get you to play games with friends, that's a failure in my book. That sucks. Yo, here's some Avowed news. How about this? So just a little bit of some info from our buddy Tinwin here, because I was talking the other day about, like, why have we not seen anything from Avowed in such a long time, you know? Which is concerning for myself, and I think a number of other people, in regards to wanting more out of the world of Aora. you know, from the Pillars of Eternity universe and where Avowed will be placed. So today marks 1 year since I joined at Obsidian, says Berto Ritger. To work on Avowed, feeling deeply grateful. This was posted on April 11th. Feeling deeply grateful to be working on such an incredible team on a project I love so much. Sick new dev team merch just got in. Cool, man. Yeah, right here. Gifted Tucker. This is the first thing I've heard that Avowed is still being made in a long time. So hyped. Congrats. Yeah. Yeah, dude, there's so many of us that have been waiting for Avowed. Like, we got hyped up at the summer showcase stuff last year. Oh, check out the shirt too. Nice. I didn't even notice I'm an idiot. I didn't even notice that. But cool. The summer showcases last year got kind of hyped up. There was like info being leaked that we were going to see new Avowed stuff, and there was nothing. And now it's almost a year later, and we still have heard nothing. And so I think a lot of us are hoping that maybe this year summer showcase. I mean, I think a lot of us that have been looking for Avowed content updates and stuff. Well, we're afraid to get hyped up now. You know, it was such a letdown, but last year. But this is good news right here. Thanks, Tim Wynn. I appreciate it, buddy. Last thing I have, we're gonna. This is another thing Tim Wynn brought to us, man. It's gonna be kind of cool to see. I hadn't seen this yet, but just a bit of a clip from a Dead Space demake PS1 styled situation here for Dead Space, which would be cool to see. But after we watch this, man, we're gonna get into some Divinity Day 17 with our buddy Pinky here. So if anybody has anything to add, let me know, and we'll address it before we move on. All right, take a look at this Dead Space demake. PS1 style demake of Isaac's classic sci-fi survival horror adventure. That's so dope, dude. Like I was saying earlier, if this had been on PS1, holy crap, the amount of scare, dude. And like Timwin said, I don't know that this would have been like something that would have been. I doubt it, actually. I doubt this is something that would have been feasible for development wise back then. You know what I mean? But it's funny, you know, because it had something, you know, like had this kind of Dead Space been done back on PS1, oh, it'd been so frightening. And now, like, seeing it in a PS1 style is actually really funny because of what gaming is nowadays, you know? It's kind of wild. Pretty nuts. Very cool. Thanks, Timwin. Appreciate it, buddy. That's it, man. That's the jam. Good timing, dude. Pinky just got home. We're going to get ready and do some Divinity. Good stuff. We'll continue to push our Divinity playthrough now, but if anybody's checking out this video gaming news segment or any of our other video gaming news segments content that we have out there, clips and highlights of funny things that have happened in the channel, or we got episodes of playthroughs of games we've done and things like that out on the YouTube channel, or highlights on the Twitch channel. All that stuff is in both places. And if you're enjoying any of the content, then I would prompt you to come hang out with us when we go live at 6 a.m. CST every single day, when we start off with video gaming news before we dive into whatever video gaming content we're going to play for the rest of the day, okay? Other than that, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind, and I will catch everybody tomorrow for April 13th edition of Video Gaming News and more Divinity with our buddy Pinky. Cool?